And we're back, and now we're joined by Gretchen Leary. Gretchen is 31 years old. She is the author of several books, and she has Asperger's syndrome, and she's here to talk to us about her books and her projects. Welcome to the show, Gretchen.
Thank you.
We're so thrilled to have you. So, Gretchen, let's start with talking a little bit about your poetry books. You've got two different books, Welcome to My Yesterday and Monochrome. And where can we find those books?
Okay, so those are actually old poetry books, but my children's books under Gretchen Leary, they are The Quiet Bear and Really, Really Like Me, and they're on Amazon.
Okay. And so it's a total of 4 books altogether?
The poetry books are no longer for sale. Those are really outdated. They didn't really sell very well, and they're not really for advocacy purposes. And those are, yeah.
But Really, Really Like Me, and what other book did you say is available?
Yep, and then it's The Quiet Bear. Those are my 2 children's books.
Children's books, all right. And those are available on Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And on Lulu.com.
And you said that they, something about them being for advocacy. Talk to us a little bit about what you mean by that.
So, as an individual with Asperger's or autism spectrum disorder, I really wanted to find a way to help children. Like, I wanted to help other people feel understood or included, and I thought the best way to start is to start with younger kids. And so I wanted to reach kids that were in like the preschool age group. And so I wrote Really, Really Like Me first, and then reached out to Danny Bowman, who illustrated it. She's on the spectrum as well. And that's more of an interactive book of like a series of interactions about sensory, like processing issues. For instance, like one page says, Claire really, really doesn't like loud noises and sometimes needs to cover her ears. Can you cover your ears too? So it's actually meant more for children who are not on the spectrum to gain a better understanding of those who are.
Wonderful. And of course, Danny is a good friend of ours,
Yes.
and has been on the show many times. We love Danny and her whole family. So I did not realize that she had done the illustrations for one of your books. It's a small world. What a wonderful thing. But, well, great. So people can buy those books. They're available on Amazon, and they are under your name, Gretchen Leary.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But you also are president of something called BostonCalm. Talk to us about that.
So, growing up, I didn't have any extra services because I wasn't diagnosed until I was 23 years old. And so I really wanted to find a way to provide tools that would provide hope and just encouragement and then just calming, like coping skills for people on the spectrum. And the vice president and co-founder, Christopher McIntyre, he has Tourette syndrome, and so the BostonCalm is all about supporting people with autism spectrum disorder and Tourette syndrome by providing occupational therapy tools and letters of encouragement to individuals with autism spectrum disorder and eventually Tourette syndrome as well. So we give to Boston Children's Hospital's autism program with a collaboration with the Rotary Club of Needham, who's helped tremendously, and then Boston Public Schools, Boston Medical Center's autism program, and then various other autism programs. And this all started this year.
And when you say you give to them, what is it that you're giving to them?
So there's 2 different projects, and it depends on the program that we're giving to. But for instance, the care packages, I call them sensory care packages that we give to Boston Children's Hospital. They include noise-canceling ear muffs, and a weighted lap pad, a teddy bear, and some fidget toys. We've also given to groups of adults, so not all of that will be exactly the same. So for like our donation to the Autism Asperger's Network, or AANE, we gave like earplugs and some like more more fidget toys and books that were written by adults on the spectrum, as well as something that I started with a letter program where we asked people like Danny Goleman and Erin Clemens and Rachel Barcelona and Haley Moss to write letters of encouragement to other people that are also on the spectrum to give them some hope. And so I printed out copies of each of those and gave them to the individuals at AANE. And so that's a separate project. But, you know, we're really kind of growing. We just donated to a barber shop because we realized it would be really helpful for children or even adults that are on the spectrum to sit still. It's beneficial for a lot of different diagnoses, but really we just wanted to provide some hope and some calming like coping tools for individuals that really need them.
It sounds like you focus a lot on sensory issues. Can you talk about that?
So, like the weighted lap pad, personally for me, I have a lot of issues with like textures and bright lights and heat. I have a lot of sensitivities to different sensory like stimuli. So like tags on clothing drives me crazy, and then really loud noises like fire alarms can be really difficult for me. Like really not like annoying, but like physically painful. And I'm kind of known as the girl with the perpetual sunglasses on my head. I actually had to remind myself to take them off before we started today because I always have them on my head, like pretty much all the time. And it's really just because even fluorescent lights in a building bother me. So.
And you know, you could have worn them for this interview. We would have been so supportive of that. And if you feel that you want to put them on, please do. I feel like a lot of times, I imagine that part of the frustration of being on the spectrum is not being able to communicate to those of us that don't have these issues how difficult it can be. And I think we all need to be much more open to people like you talking about what the issues are and going so far to say, it's not that it's just uncomfortable for me, I'm in pain when this has happened. I think a lot of people just don't get that, Gretchen. Is that frustrating for you?
It is. There's a lot of people that really undermine my struggles. There's a lot of people that say that I don't seem like somebody with autism spectrum disorder, but I think that, I mean, like if I could have like a dime for every time I've heard that, I'd be a really wealthy woman. But a lot of those people have had like a 5-minute interaction and are basing it on Rain Man, you know, and I think that there's a lot of lack of understanding. So that when people talk about autism awareness, I think people misunderstand what they mean by that, because I think the awareness that's needed is more about how to be helpful, because everyone knows for the most part what autism is, but they don't really understand that autism can look very different from individual to individual. So, you know, I don't act anything like Sheldon, and I don't act like anything like Dr. House or Rain Man or any other character that's portrayed as somebody similar to somebody on the spectrum.
Yeah. And I know that you are a wonderful outspoken advocate for services for adults. We have so many people who will write into the show, and I think one of the great tragedies is that just like with kids that are younger, it's a full spectrum. And it's everywhere from people who are adults on the spectrum who need a lot of help and support to people who just need a little bit. And I honestly think that there's very little for adults. There's more and more each year, but it's still very little. When people write to you or call you, Gretchen, and say, what's available for adult services? Is there a bunch of stuff that you know about that we just don't know?
Well, I'll tell you, I applied for adult autism services when I lived in Houston for a while, and when I called them, they did like a 20-minute intake, and then they told me that the wait list was approximately 12 years long.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
That,
12 years.
Keep calling and updating if my number or address changes in the next 12 years, but to expect at least 10 to 12 years before I would receive any help. So,
What kind of services were you applying for, Gretchen?
I actually don't even know. It was just considered state services. So obviously I don't even live in Texas anymore, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
12
so I really,
years.
I feel like there's so many nonprofits out there that are all about research, and I really wanted to be a part of like the solution in the sense that there's nothing wrong with the nonprofits that help with research. Those are wonderful and they have their place. But I really wanted to be a part of actually providing a real service to individuals. And so there's, obviously different types of nonprofits, and we're a very small one, but I really would like to make a big impact in the long run.
Well, tell us how people can reach you.
And how they can help.
Okay, so we have a website, and it's BostonCalm.org, so BostonCalm.org. And it actually talks about what we do, who our sponsors are, who we work with. And the response has been tremendous so far in people that have donated. But you can actually write to us. There's an email address like bostoncalm@gmail.com. You can reach us that way. But all that is contact information is on the website. And we don't right now, we're not at a capacity where we can really give individual people care packages right now. So we give them to organizations or programs, and then they distribute them, or we give them to a business. But we just want to be fair across the board because the need is so great, and so we want to be fair about who we give to.
Well, it's a great cause, and we encourage people to reach out to you.
Well, and I appreciate that your poetry books are no longer available, but I understand you started writing poetry again, but to music in a very unique way.
Yes. So I have this thing where it's not just listening to classical music, but I do have a blog, so that's GretchenLeary.wordpress.com, but I will listen to a classical piece, whether it's Chopin or Beethoven or Mozart, and I will try to tell a story based on what I'm listening to. So, and actually, one of those times, I think this was back in 2012, I believe it was, I shared one of those poems with Josh Groban, and he then shared it on Twitter, and so it really inspired me to keep going with that. And so I've written poems to Mozart Symphony No. 25 and Beethoven Symphony No. 9. I try to interpret based on the music what I'm actually hearing, making a story, not lyrics, but actually writing a kind of a story, a narrative of what I feel is happening while I'm listening to the piece.
That's brilliant, Gretchen.
Absolutely.
And you had that on your blog, information about that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's another way people can reach you.
Well, we really want people to check out, especially the two children's
Yes.
books on Amazon. And do you also have a website where everything is available, Gretchen?
I don't at the moment. I'm kind of working on getting that back up. Right now, the focus has been on the nonprofit. But if you Google my name, Gretchen Leary, you'll probably find everything. I think that my blog, the Gretchen Leary at WordPress.com or .wordpress.com, I think that it has all the links to everything.
Okay, great.
Wonderful.
Great.
Gretchen, thank you
thank
for all
you.
that you're doing and for taking the time to be with us
Thank you
today.
for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with all your future endeavors and with BostonCalm.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.